Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene, our weekly statewide show on Cox Channel 3 YurView and worldwide on YouTube. Between Wednesdays, Friday nights at 10:30, Saturday at 11 p.m. Of course, first of all, I have to say, Merry Christmas. All the rest of you, holiday wishes from all of us at Oklahoma Sportscene. This week with Bricktown Brewery Restaurant in South Peoria, they have, of course, all the great craft beers, great food, and all the big TV screens here for you to enjoy all the sporting events. The place to be. Come on out and enjoy Bricktown Brewery. Take a look now at our show lineup for you. We'll start with Todd Berry, president of the American Football Coaches Association. Talk about this 2023 season, about all the crazy changes he's seen over 4 decades in college football, NIL, and the portal, two of the big topics. And of course, he's also celebrating Army's win over Navy as the former coach at Army. Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director Mick Wilson, also the tournament director of one of the great high school basketball events every year. It's the Tournament of Champions coming up at the BOK at the end of this year. Emmett Hahn, the auto racing legend, will be here to join us to preview the upcoming Tulsa Indoor Shootout and the Chili Bowl indoor races. And Remington Park just rounded up their thoroughbred meet for the 2023 season with a big 2-year race, the Springboard Mile. We'll show you the race from start to finish. Talk with Dale Day after the race. Let's take a look now at some of our Tulsa World hot topics. The bowl games are now underway. A total of 43 bowl games over the next 3 weeks. Big 12 had a record number 9 teams qualify for bowl games. Here's the lineup for the Big 12. It started, in fact, on December 16th. Got to a good start with Texas Tech hammering Cal 34-14. That was followed by a game on the 22nd. And one of the new Big 12 teams, Central Florida, taking on Georgia Tech. That was the Mortgage Bowl in Tampa, Florida. On December the 26th, the day after Christmas, the Kansas Jayhawks are playing Nevada, Las Vegas in Tampa, Florida. That's the Union Home Mortgage Bowl. On the 27th, West Virginia meets North Carolina, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. That's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Also the 27th, get ready, Cowboy fans. Oklahoma State back in the bowl for 18th straight year. They'll be taking on Texas A&M. 20th ranked Cowboys playing the Tax Act Texas Bowl in Houston, Texas, Reliance Stadium down there. The game 8 o'clock on ESPN, December 27th. On the 28th, the day after that, Kansas State takes on North Carolina State. That's 2 ranked teams. The Wildcats number 25, North Carolina State number 18. That's the Pop Tarts Bowl, Orlando, Florida. And that night, in case student fans get ready, it's the Alamo Bowl, number 12 Oklahoma against number 14 Arizona in the Valero Alamo Bowl down in San Antonio, Texas. The game kicks at 8:15 on ESPN on the 28th. Now this will also be the debut of the new Sooner quarterback everybody's talking about, Jackson Arnold, The true freshman was a consensus 5-star and top 13 national recruit. Arnold's OU's 7th highest recruit in the school's history. 6'1", 210-pound freshman, wears number 10. Watch for Jackson Arnold, future Oklahoma football on display. That's December 28th in the Alamo Bowl. Also the 28th, another Big 12 team in action, Iowa State plays Memphis State. That'll be in Memphis, AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And of course, number 3 Texas, the Big 12 champions this year, take on number 2 Washington, the second of the semifinals in the college football playoffs. They'll be at the All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, night of January 1st, 7:45 kickoff on ESPN. Tulsa Ice Holders, update on the Ice Holders. They're playing well this time of the year. They travel to Kansas City on the 20th and come back to the BOK Center, host that same Kansas City team. That's on the 22nd at 7:05, then on to the Christmas break. And congratulations to manager Scott Hennessy. Tulsa Drillers will return for a 7th season this year. Next, Todd Berry, president of the American Football Coaches Association. All things college football. Straight ahead on Oklahoma Sportscene.
There are 3 things you need to know about Bricktown Brewery. We never stop obsessing over the quality of our fresh, made-from-scratch food. From pizza and burgers to salad and seafood, there's something for everyone. Our beer selection is second to none. Between handcrafted Bricktown beers and local craft favorites, you're sure to find one you'll love. We can't wait to serve you. Great food, local beer, and truly friendly service. Bricktown Brewery, we love what we do, and it shows.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
A New Year's party so big, so loud, and so fast, it takes 5 days just to fit it all in. We're talking the Mecca of Micros, the 39th running of the Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink, live at the SageNet Center at Expo Square. The superstars of small cars are back Wednesday, December 27th through Sunday, December 31st, with one thing on their mind, taking home the Golden Driller. December 27th, the racing begins at 7 p.m. Every day from there kicks off at 9 a.m. All seating is general admission. For more info, times, and prices, log on to TulsaShootout.com.
$275,000 Candyland. Be one of 27 lucky guests called December 2nd, 9th, and 16th and win a share of up to $275,000 cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite, then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene here at the Bricktown Brewery Restaurant on South Peoria in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Another good friend of ours, guys had a big impact on college athletics, Todd Berry, president of the executive director of the American Football Coach Association. And Todd, first of all, congratulations on a great honor you received in Las Vegas recently at the National Football Foundation convention.
Yeah, it was special for me. They have the National Football Foundation does so many great things for a high school football, college football, and to get their legacy award. It was a real honor. It was a really a lot of the individuals that I kind of grew up in the profession that are either older coaches or retired coaches are there, athletic directors. I've got to know Tim Tebow and his wife fairly well over the years, and he was there being honored as getting inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame. So it was special for a lot of reasons for me.
4 decades involved with college football. The game has changed, hasn't it?
Oh my! It's back whenever I was playing. You'll remember this. It was the ball was so much bigger than what it is now.
Now it's so much smaller and less padding and stuff.
There's
plastic.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, even back then the offensive linemen couldn't pass protect with their arms out. They had to have their hands close, so nobody threw the football.
Yeah.
And what a change that made when they allowed that. They made the ball smaller so you could throw it around. And the game now, who would have ever thought that we would not see a huddle? If I would have called huddle at my last university that I coached at, nobody would have known what to do. They would have run around like the replacements or something.
Well, wild times, of course. And I think back to those early college days and how the game has changed. And had some athletic directors on recently talking about the changes. But from the American Football Coach Association, what's your stance on? Let's first talk about NIL, name, image, likeness.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably like to include the portal in that too.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, because name, image, and likeness was understandable. When this came out, we were very frustrated as a coaching community. As you know, I'm on all those NCAA committees.
Yes.
I voiced my disapproval, not about NIL, but about the way that they were the way they were releasing it. And you knew this was going to be a money grab by the boosters. And anytime we've let third parties, agents, boosters get into our game, we've always had problems. And now we basically have a de facto owner system in college football. Not going to sugarcoat in any way. You want one of these quarterbacks that's in the transfer portal right now, it's going to cost you $1 to $2 million, maybe even $3 million annually.
Yeah.
And we, because of a bad rollout, we created not just that, but the portal created free agency. So now every player is entering the portal just to kind of test their value in the marketplace.
We had so many when the portal opened, jump in there, kind of to test it, take a look, who's interested, who's not, what's the price, what's not. Some came back, some leaving, but it's got to be so tough on you football coaches. You got to re-recruit your whole class every season.
You do, and obviously you have to report now to not only your athletic director, your boss, but you have to report to your series of boosters that are out there that are basically buying these players. Sometimes not even players that the coaches want.
Yeah, right.
I think I mentioned to you, we had a coach called me recently that he had a booster that bought him a fullback, and he doesn't even have a fullback in his offense. And so they've lost control of some things in this. And quite honestly, it's going to be very, very difficult for the NCAA or any entity, quite honestly, to put this back into something that is workable.
Among your many stops, of course, we're happy to say you're a Golden Hurricane coach for a while, 1984. Then the next thing you were at Oklahoma State as well, so you had some experience with schools here too.
I was. Those were great times. Obviously, I'm a huge University of Tulsa fan.
Yeah.
My affinity for the school just continues to grow every year, and what it's done for me, and appreciate that. John Cooper was my head coach.
Great guy, yeah.
Larry Coker was my position coach in college there here at the University of Tulsa. And then I had some good fortune to transition over to Oklahoma State when Larry Coker went over there as the offensive coordinator to work with Pat Jones. And, Pat obviously is here in Tulsa. And, just a wonderful gentleman. Learned an awful lot from him also. So, great ties here in state. And then obviously 13 other stops along the way during this time frame.
Well, next week's show, in fact, we're going to have on the show with us Rick Dixon, the athletic director at the University of Tulsa. I'm constantly amazed. The smallest school, right? Division I enrollment.
Correct.
And they have dominated championships in the American Athletic Conference.
Rick's done a fantastic job. I've known Rick for years, actually, but it wasn't back whenever he was playing here at the University of Tulsa. It was afterwards whenever he's the athletic director at Tulane, and I was the head coach at Army, and they were in the same conference. And we kind of clicked at that moment. We've known each other since, and he's done a fantastic job, and very proud of the university.
And we can't talk with the former football coach at West Point, the academy there, and congratulations, beating Navy, Coach.
What a segue, huh?
Yeah.
That's you've been up there now.
Oh, thanks to you.
Yeah.
It was a great tour. Fantastic.
Yeah,
what a place.
Yeah, it is a very, very special place with very, very special people.
That's for sure.
But that game is one of the most special, and I think the last game, the last time that Army had won was back in 2001 whenever I was there, and then obviously they've had some wins since, but the hardest hit, I think I've shared this with you, the hardest tackle I ever had was after we won. I get tackled, not thinking who would tackle the head coach after the game. We're getting ready to go on television, and it's General Schwarzkopf. And he hit me so hard from behind, and so it's a special game.
It was Army 17, Navy 11, the 124th Army-Navy game, and they moved it for the first time up into New England, the Patriot Stadium in Foxborough. Yeah,
that's unique. There was such a long lineage there of playing in Philadelphia.
Right.
My first year actually was the first year that they had moved that outside of Philadelphia. We played in Baltimore. They played in New York City, but I know this is the first time in Boston. And I think it's great to travel the game. It upsets a little bit of some of the older grads about the tradition of playing in Philadelphia, but the reality is more people get to see this very, very special event.
And it's so emotional. I mean, you can feel it watching the game, the announcers of the game and stuff. It's just unique to all college football, and it's a standalone game, the game that ends the regular season every year.
That's true. I was glad college football decided to separate that out. I used to. It was a week earlier, but the championship games were there. And it is it's a special game by special players that they love the game. They're not getting paid to play.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, their whole point is they want to represent their institutions, their branch of service, and their fellow teammates well. And it's just there is no other rivalry like it. I can promise you. I've been in a bunch of them, and I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing like Army-Navy. And
Army ended the season on a 4-game win streak.
Yeah.
And even better than that, I just did the history. They won 6 of the last 7 from Navy. That means a lot, doesn't it?
It's huge. It's the only thing that matters, really. I mean, they have a tunnel down there, as you've seen, that's a beat Navy tunnel.
Yeah.
And in there, if you win that year is inscribed in that tunnel. And so the old grads, they won't walk down that tunnel if their senior year they didn't beat Navy, because they don't want to see that there is no emblem for that year that they graduated.
And congratulations also, Army won the Commander's Chief Trophy this year.
That was incredible because Air Force had a very, very good football team.
23-3, you beat them at Air Force.
At Air Force.
Undefeated at the time Air Force was,
That's
right?
exactly right, and ranked.
Wow.
Ranked Air Force team, and Army was struggling. And that kind of goes to the point, I think, that sometimes, especially in rivalry games, you really never know exactly what's going to happen. Some players show up that you hadn't seen before, and there's other ones, quite honestly, that you've been counting on, and they don't show up quite as much in the rivalry games.
Todd Berry, been the executive director of the American Football Coaches Association since 2016. Ready to retire? What's next for Todd Berry?
That's correct, yeah. January here, I think the 29th is my retirement date. And Yeah, I'm excited about that. You have this opportunity to now maybe be able to travel with my wife. We haven't been on a vacation in like 12 years, and it's this job's all engrossing, just like a head coaching job is. Yeah. So I'm excited about that and be able to travel with her some. And there's a lot going on in college football, and taking my little crack at it, and so now it's time to turn it over to someone else.
Well, Todd, I've been meaning to get this to you since you gave us that great tour of West Point. Mick and I picked this up for you, and go Army. There you go, buddy.
I appreciate that. Thank
you probably have a ton of those, but
no, I don't actually. I appreciate that.
There you go.
The mule and the big A.
That's right.
That's right.
Enjoy. Todd Berry, all the best to you, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Come right back with the Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director, Mick Wilson, talking about one of the biggest high school basketball events in the state, and anywhere, in fact, the Tournament of Champions. We'll preview it next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit, so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
It's the fame, the glory, and the Golden Driller, and it's all happening at the SageNet Center at Expo Square. January 8th to the 13th, the Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink, is back for its 38th running. It's a week of mud, methanol, and action you don't want to miss for the world's top racing talent. Monday and Tuesday reserve seat tickets are on sale by calling 918-838-3777. General admission tickets are sold at the event and never sell out. For complete listings of times, prices, and more, log on to chilibowl.com.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
It is recognized simply as the showcase of Oklahoma high school basketball. It is the 58th annual Tournament of Champions. The guy who runs it all, Mick Wilson, our Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director. Mick, great event, great history, and again, another great bracket here.
It's always a great field. As we were talking off air, you just look every year and you just wonder if it can ever get better. And you don't know if it necessarily gets better, but it definitely maintains a high quality, a high level of competition, and a high level of players and coaches and people involved. And the venue is great, and so we're excited about another great year of basketball.
And it showcases both girls and boys, and it really, we saw it again last year too, that Hoosiers reaction. People talk about the small school going against the big schools, and sometimes the small schools can pull upsets, as we saw last year.
All the time it happens, and I think back to some of the great tournaments we've seen over the years, but last year was probably the greatest upset maybe we've ever seen in the championship game when Dale beat Memorial.
Yeah.
And then obviously we stayed with the small score format in the game before when the Lincoln Christian girls beat a higher ranked team. So wow. It's always a great tournament and a lot of fun, and people enjoy coming out and watching it in a great venue now, being at the BOK Center.
Yeah, talk about the history of the BOK Center. We talked about your friend Duggar would have looked back and realized how this tournament has grown over the years.
Well, a lot of people, some people know the history and a lot don't, but the basketball tournament actually started at Memorial High School, and the late Doug Duggar was, this was his brainchild of taking the David and Goliath format in the first round and playing the small schools against the larger schools and trying to determine an overall champion, and it's worked really well. It never, people always root for the underdog, so it's always entertaining and always exciting. Obviously, sometimes you have blowout games, and other times you have some really competitive games. So again, it makes for a great format, and I think he would be proud. We've done right through Tulsa Public Schools and Memorial High School to arrive at where we're at now. We've come a long way, and we want to continue to make it better. So it's always a challenge, but it's a great event.
Well, let's fill in the brackets now. Take a look at the Wednesday girls basketball brackets. Games at noon, at 4 p.m., at 9 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. For the girls Wednesday. That's the 27th of December.
I look at a lot of the first round matchups, excited about seeing some of these teams, but obviously probably one everyone's going to want to get out and see will be that 7 o'clock game in the evening. What a game, Lincoln Christian comes off as defending tournament champions, and they right away draw a really tough matchup with Tahlequah High School, who's ranked in the top 3 in 5A. So you're going to see
they just knocked off Booker T, right?
They did. They just beat Booker T Washington a few nights ago in a really close game. I think it ended up being a 2-point game. So you're going to see a really tough game there in the first round, and then you're going to see some really exciting players, not only from Edmond Memorial and Verdigris, but you'll also see Sapulpa, who was in the championship game last year against Lincoln Christian, and then of course Riverside is a new team to the field from Anadarko, Riverside Indian School, Class A, coming off a serious run of the championship last year in their classification. So again, some really good games are going to be played, and excited to see the level of competition go up.
And you'd love to look at the brackets here. You notice starting off with that 9 a.m. game, Booker T Washington, stalwart in high school basketball in 5A against Kiefer, a 3A school.
Again, a tough game. Kiefer has some fine players. They've got a couple players out right now with injuries, so it'll be a toss-up to see how well they play. But again, I would say Booker T Washington going into that game will be a favorite, and obviously showcased by a Division I player in Markayla Johnson. And she's an early commit to Baylor, so people will get to come out and take a look at her and really see a high-caliber basketball player there with Booker T Washington.
That's followed at noon by the game you mentioned, Sapulpa 5A against Riverside, a little A school, but again, great chance for the underdog.
A lot of really good players. I've watched him several times on Huddle and watched video, and was really impressed by what they do. They're well coached and play really, really hard. So I think they'll have great support, and excited to see them play.
Our first 6A school in the girls bracket comes in at the 4 o'clock game. Edmond Memorial takes on Verdigris, the 4A.
Edmond Memorial, a couple of really good players. Again, they finished in the state semifinals last year, had a really serious run at the end, and in fact, they eliminated Booker T Washington last year out of the state tournament. So a potential rematch in the second round would be an exciting game, and again, seeing what their players can do, it'll be a good time.
Then it wraps up at the 7 o'clock game, Tahlequah and Lincoln Christian, defending champion.
Again, I think that might be the first round game to see. A lot of basketball fans will stick around. That's a great thing, Chris. A lot of guys come out to watch some of the boys' games, and they end up seeing such a high level of girls' games. They want to stay and watch the entire tournament. So I think that will be one they'll definitely want to circle and be a part of. And of course, the girls go on to Thursday games, Friday, and of course the finals championship game, Friday, December 29th at 7 p.m. for first place. All right, let's move to the boys bracket now, and let's take a look at the games starting at 10:30 in the morning with Edmond North 6A against Little A School OK. Edmond North coming off a 6A state championship. One thing that happened with them over the year was they lost one of their high-profile guards, left and went to a prep school, but they reloaded with a transfer. A great team, and probably one of my favorite players that I've seen in the last few years, in Dylan Warlick. What a great player he is, and he's exciting to watch. And again, OK plays a crazy style of basketball. They like to run up and down the floor and shoot a lot of threes. So if Edmond North's not ready, they're gonna get pushed, and it'll be an exciting game. As far as the boys bracket, a 1:30 afternoon game, Weatherford 4A crossing Christian 5A school. Again, that's a matchup of last year's 4A state semifinals. Weatherford won that game going away. It was a really tough game, but when those guys pulled the bracket and saw that, they said, not again. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I couldn't tell you who I think will win that game, because both teams are really, really good, and two outstanding coaches in Derek Bull and Sean Shank of each school. So it'll be a fun game to watch. Weatherford is really big and strong and physical, so it'll be a good game. 5:30, the defending champion, the great story, Cinderella story of last year's tournament. Little Dale 2A takes on 4A Hale. They do, and I don't think my Hale coach was very happy with me. he called me early and was kind of talking to me about what I thought the bracket would look like, and I tried not to tip my hand because I don't want to make one of my coaches upset with me, but what a great game that'll be. Hale has some really fine players. Again, probably a 6'9" player that is going to be as good as come out of Tulsa Public in a long time. He's got a chance to be special. Bobby Allison puts him in the same caliber potentially as like the Boone twins. He's got that type of talent, and he's a little bigger and probably is a great athlete like they are. But and of course, what do you say about Dale with their team and the Forsyth, the young man Forsyth is such a fantastic player and great to watch, and they have a great following. I think the entire county, not just the town of Dale. I think the entire county was here for the championship game last year, and so it'll be a fun game, and we'll see how that turns out.
Last game Wednesday night for the boys, 8:30. Always a power on this side of the state. The Wausau Rams, 6A against Metro Christian, 3A.
A great game, probably the one game. I don't want to jinx Brian Montnati. He's a friend of mine, and obviously his son is an outstanding player. Being on the 17 and under USA Olympic team, you'll see a fine player there. But I would think that might be one that could be ripe for an upset. Metro Christian has a really good team. Byron Flam is an outstanding coach, and they've got a lot of outstanding players. So if I was going to look at one that could be a potential upset, it might be right there. But again, I don't want to give anyone the kiss of death. I would just like to see them all play hard and have a really, really good game. But again, Brian I'm sure those guys will be prepared, and there will be no secrets with Metro Christian. So it'll be an outstanding game.
Mick, how are these teams selected, and how long do you work on these tournament brackets?
Well, actually, I start late. Again, that's something you kind of do it probably toward the last minute. But you start working on this tournament and putting together right now. I'm actually already evaluating teams for next year.
Yeah.
You really look at highly ranked teams. You look teams that make a serious run in the state tournament. You look at teams that are state champions and return most of their team. That's the key is identifying teams with a lot of returners, lots of junior and sophomore heavy teams that are going to have a good team again next year. So you try to do that, and sometimes you're able to do that, and there's been times, Chris, in the past, as you know, we've had a high-profile team that loses one of their really, really good players to a transfer or they move away. And so as you do that, you start a lot of work now and try to do your homework. Again, there's been times I've been really lucky, like this year's field, very lucky that we've picked some outstanding teams, and there's times, again, when sometimes you miss. But you try to do as much as your homework as you can early and then kind of watch as the season progresses.
Tournament champions, December 27th to 29th. Talk about some tickets. How do we get tickets?
You got to go to the BOK Center website, and tickets are on sale now. Probably the best value is to buy the all-tournament pass, which is a $60 value that you can now purchase for $40 up until the midnight, the night before the tournament begins.
How many games then? You're
talking about 24 games.
Wow.
And you'll see there's 2 sessions, Chris, and of course we shut down between 3 and 4 o'clock and clear the arena. And then the second session will start at 4 with games. So there's 2 sessions with lots of games to play and a lot of exciting players. But go to the BOK Center website and find those tickets online now.
Mick Wilson, Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director and the Director of the 58th Tournament Champions. Get down and be part of that, the BOK Great Basketball. Mick, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you, Chris. And if you would, please tell your better half, Miss Becky Lincoln, hello. And I'm glad she's recovering well.
You have things together, don't you?
Absolutely.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Coming up next, Emmett Hahn, the racing legend. Got some big events coming to Tulsa. Stay with us.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
$275,000 Candyland. Be one of 27 lucky guests called December 2nd, 9th, and 16th and win a share of up to $275,000 cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite, then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
All right, start your engines, race fans. Here he is, Emmett Hahn, the legend himself. Getting ready to talk about the two biggest events in auto racing towards the end of the year here. First of all, Emmett, good to see you. Congratulations on the incredible growth of these two events.
Thank you.
We'll take this first section to talk about the Tulsa Shootout. It actually precedes the Chili Bowl by 1 year, doesn't it?
Well, the Shootout's what started the Chili Bowl.
Right.
When we ran the Shootout first year, that's when we decided that we could get midgets and get some sprint car drivers and make it work.
Starts the day after Christmas, December the 26th, to the end of the year, December the 31st. Talk about the types of cars we're looking at, type of racing we'll have.
At the Shootout, I call them micros. Some of them call them mini sprints.
Right.
But they're a little bit smaller than a midget, and they have a motorcycle engine in them versus high dollar engines in the midgets. But they're faster around the racetrack than the midgets are. So they're lighter, and they turn in things 16,000 RPM. So it's a show, and we got plenty of them to race.
A-class, stock, non-wing, outlaw, junior sprints. Great mix of great racing.
Junior sprints from 6 to 12 years old.
Oh, fun.
And we have in excess of 100 junior sprints already entered.
Golly.
And what's bad is my grandson's one of them.
I would think so, huh? How old is he now? What's his name?
He's 8. That'll be Carson Brazil.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know you're excited about that, but what a great opportunity with these young men, too. And again, the way this it just keeps growing and growing with entries.
I remember when we had 600 and 700, and that was a good car count.
Yeah.
And this year, it's big. We got in excess of 1,600 pre-entered.
Gosh, Emmett. Well, I know a lot of preparation goes into getting this event ready, and he does most of it himself, used to anyway. Talking about getting that track ready and inside a fifth of a mile track, indoors, inside the Net Center, incredible racing.
Well, you know, we haul in 700 loads of clay, got the Jersey barriers for the wall, and then we've got 20-foot fence around the thing to keep our spectators safe. But a lot of work. The boys, you're right. I used to do it all. Now then, last couple of years, they just tell me to stay away and they'll get it done. So I like that.
Well, I would love the part too. He would get some of the big name drivers who jumped on tractors, wanted to help out. I remember Tony Stewart helped him do the track.
Yeah, you know, Tony helped us there for 5, 6, 7 years, and you know what marriage does to a guy. He got married to a drag racer, so he's off drag racing.
Oh
now.
my gosh.
But I remember the first year Tony came and helped us. Dave Despain done an interview with us, and he said, Emmett, he said, how in the world did you get somebody like Tony Stewart to help with your racetrack? I said, it was real simple. I said, you see the year he had in racing, he's broke.
I love the fact too that these drivers circle this on the calendar. They're looking forward to getting into a race car and start racing again.
This, yes, I mean, they haven't raced, most of them haven't raced since about Labor Day.
Wow,
So they're getting cabin fever, and I think that's why, well, there's several reasons we get a lot of entries. You get to race against people, like in the Shootout, from all over the United States. I mean, micros are just big.
Yeah.
And so you get to run against the best in the Northwest, the best in the Northeast, down in Florida. And so you get to see how you size up against these guys. And I tell you what, I didn't know here until about a month ago, some of these little bitty motorcycle engines, they've got $18,000 in them.
Oh my.
And I thought,
wow.
I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. But this is what they're all running for right here, Chris.
Yeah, we're going to come back and talk about the Chili Bowl, the trophies, and more purse money, and another special award they're going to give out this year as well. But before we do that, let's sell some tickets. The Tulsa Shootout. Can you get to the event December the 26th through the 31st?
All right, we're going to start parking on the 26th. Our first race will be on the 27th.
Okay.
End up on New Year's Eve. So it'll be the last race of the year.
Wow.
So, but if for people that don't want to get out and act crazy on New Year's Eve, you can bring your family and watch some good, all the main events. There's some of these classes that will have 400 cars in it trying to make a 20-car feature. So
Yeah.
Come Sunday night, New Year's Eve, you'll see the best of the best of the best out there.
You know, it's not just racing, too. You always put on a heck of a trade show. The whole center of the Expo Square floor filled with some great items, and especially auto racing fans will love.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the Chili Bowl has a bigger trade show than Shootout, but Shootout's got a large trade show. I mean, it's not just racing. They got jewelry, clothing, got a little bit of everything, and it's just a fun deal. And what gets our spectators coming from all over the country is we're not going to get rained out.
That's right.
It's going to run as scheduled, and it's just great racing. It's kind of like a racer's family reunion.
I've always admired that. People plan their entire year's vacation around these two events.
We got the Warden up in Iowa.
Yeah.
This is where they have their family reunion every year.
Wow.
So,
and they truly come all over the country and internationally too, especially for Chili Bowl.
Yeah, Chili Bowl. We got 5 different countries that's coming in. Ooh. You know, so it's Chili Bowl's huge.
We're going to come back and talk about that huge Chili Bowl. The man who put it all together, Emmett Hahn, after the break here on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
A New Year's party so big, so loud, and so fast, it takes 5 days just to fit it all in. We're talking the Mecca of Micros, the 39th running of the Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink, live at the SageNet Center at Expo Square. The superstars of small cars are back Wednesday, December 27th through Sunday, December 31st, with one thing on their mind, taking home the Golden Driller. December 27th, the racing begins at 7 p.m. Every day from there kicks off at 9 a.m. All seating is general admission. For more info, times, and prices, log on to TulsaShootout.com.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. Let's say with Emmett Hahn now. We talked about the big Tulsa Shootout, December 27th. We'll start racing there until the 31st in the year. But then the new year gets underway with the biggest event in indoor auto racing anywhere in the world. It's the Chili Bowl. And I tell you, it is a big, big event, and it gets bigger every year, Emmett.
I'm telling you, Chili Bowl is huge. It's huge. There's no other word for it.
We talked about, some 38, 39 years ago, had 700 entry cars. And what's the total up to this year for Chili Bowl?
Well, this year at the Chili Bowl, our very first one, we had 35 cars. Now then, we've got 325 pre-entered, so we'll be somewhere around 350. So it's grown. Back in the early days, I could announce the crowd quicker than I could announce the A feature, you know. But now then, we're fortunate enough for the thing is sold out a year in advance. We got a waiting list. The good thing is we still have Monday, Tuesday, and all seats are reserved at the Chili Bowl, but we do have reserved seats for Monday and Tuesday.
Talk about the dates again. It's the 8th of January through the 13th inside the SageNet Center at Expo Square, which makes it so unique. Indoor race, people think you're crazy. About a fifth of a mile track there and stuff, but have a shoot, and it's some wild racing action.
I remember we had Humpy Wheeler in here as our Grand Marshal. when he got in, we went down the infield and we watched 2 heat races. And of course, he's the one that runs Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
He watched that heat race and he said, you know, Emmett, he said there's more racing here in these 10 laps than we see in a 500-mile race.
I've heard actually one of the drivers said 1 year, right? This trophy right here, the Golden Driller Trophy, is tougher to win than the Indianapolis 500. Wow.
There's been a lot of people said that, and I mean, even the Tony Stewarts, Kyle Larsons, them guys, this is in their trophy case.
Explain that, what it takes to get even to the finals to get a shot at this trophy.
Well, like I say, at the Chili Bowl here, we got 325 entries. We'll have 350 entries, and then 350 cars is trying to make it into a 24-car feature on Saturday night.
Wow.
So you gotta be real good, have some Chili Bowl luck, and let everything go your way.
I say it's one of the toughest tickets to get in any sport. I know it. People sign up for this years and years in advance. Talk about the number of states, the number of nations that take part. Send drivers, send spectators to your Chili Bowl event.
You know, we got 5 countries that buys tickets. And I think we got racers from 3 or 4 different countries.
Yeah.
I know we got one from the Netherlands, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. It's just amazing. It's just hard to explain what the Chili Bowl is. And when we say it's the largest indoor race in the country, it is the most prestigious dirt track race in the country, and that was proved by USA Today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know the drivers talk about this. They have cabin fever, right? They haven't been on the track for a while, right?
Yeah. And they've had a chance to save up their money so they can tear up some cars.
And what an economic impact it has on the city of Tulsa. What is it, Emmett? It's incredible.
We just done a deal with the state of Oklahoma. The Chili Bowl brings in $31 million the week of the Chili Bowl, and the Shootout brings in $9.4 million. So, with the exception of the PGA, which is just here every so many years, there's nothing else in this town that does this.
Wow. All right, let's talk about some of the big names you always have coming in every year, whether it be drivers, owners, racing officials. Some of the big names in the sport are here.
They're all here. You can't even name them all. I mean, it's just, I remember, we're talking about NASCAR drivers as an example. 1 year we had 11 NASCAR drivers here at the Chili Bowl, and they had practice set up at Daytona. Them 11 guys got NASCAR to change the date on practice where they wouldn't affect the Chili Bowl. So, I mean, you got the top NASCAR drivers, the top late model drivers, drag cars, everything.
So why would these guys like the Tony Stewarts or A.J. Foyts in years past, why would they want to come inside and race on a small dirt track? What is it about that?
You know, and I race a little bit, and when you're on a small racetrack like that, your elbows up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really, you're not running fast enough to really hurt yourself, and you're not in a points race, so you can go out and race and do things that if I was running for a championship in USAC or whatever, I might take some chances here that I would if I was running for a points championship. So and it's just fun. They wanted to see how they size up with a dragster, a NASCAR guy, a late model guy. You know, it's just a neat deal.
And a big with the Chili Bowl as well is a massive trade show.
There is. It's a huge trade show, and I'm the world's worst about promoting that because you do not have to buy a ticket to go to the trade show.
I mean, they ain't cut of that.
Yeah, you just come right in the main entrance right there. I think there's 60 booths in the trade show, so it's pretty neat.
All right, unless you know someone, how do you get a ticket to the Chili Bowl? You do have some available for the public, right?
We got reserved seats for Monday and Tuesday, and we have seating for about 2,500 to 3,000 people with pit passes. So from Wednesday through Saturday, you can come in and buy a pit pass, and that's open seating on that. We got 4 different grandstands for them to set in. So.
And over the last couple of years, Emmett Hahn's been putting his own money in this thing, I guess. His purse is really growing. How much money have you put in this last couple of years for the drivers?
counting this year and last year, we have added $100,000 to the purse. So this year it's going to pay $20,000 to win.
Yeah.
The good thing is it's going to pay $2,000 to run last in the feature.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And of course, this is what they all are chasing, the Golden Driller Trophy, but something else, something new this year.
We're going to do this. We're going to do this every year, starting this year right here. The owner and the driver gets a Chili Bowl champion ring.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice, I'd say. Well, again, it's one of the great events, and you see what impact it has on this community in the state of Oklahoma. And Emmett, again, congratulations. Always look forward to this.
I love it.
Give us those dates again. Shootout and Chili Bowl.
That's it. Shootout is
27th, right?
27th through the 31st.
Yep.
The Chili Bowl is the 8th through the 13th of January.
Bringing the new year with all kinds of racing action with Emmett Hahn's the Chili Bowl. Great event. Be part of it. It's amazing. It really is. I've got another thing of racing we'll talk about. Thoroughbred racing. Into the meet at Remington Park's coming up next. Take a look at their big race for 2-year-olds when we return on Oklahoma Sportscene. Happy New Year, Emmett.
All right. Same to you, buddy.
A New Year's party so big, so loud, and so fast, it takes 5 days just to fit it all in. We're talking the mecca of micros, the 39th running of the Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink, live at the SageNet Center at Expo Square. The superstars of small cars are back Wednesday, December 27th through Sunday, December 31st, with one thing on their mind, taking home the Golden Driller. December 27th, the racing begins at 7 p.m. Every day from there kicks off at 9 a.m. All seating is general admission. For more info, times, and prices, log on to TulsaShootout.com.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The best of back then is always right here. Live your greatest hits at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa.
We're back at more racing on Oklahoma Sportscene. This is Thoroughbred Racing. Remington Park closed its outstanding thoroughbred meet this past week in Oklahoma City. Closing weekend featured one of the nation's top 2-year-old races. It's a race that's a $300,000 purse called the Springboard Mile. Two of the top horses, number 8, Otto the Conqueror, and number 5, Glengarry, put on one heck of a show. It's post time now. I'm going to show you the race from start to finish. Here's track announcer Dale Day with the call of the Springboard Mile.
They're off in the Springboard Mile. Shuffled, rough start for Raging Torrent. Work to do now for sure. Glengarry going to the front. Glengarry has the lead to the first turn by a half length over Otto the Conqueror. Gap of 2 then, back to My Buddy Mel third. Magic Grant fourth. Now Raging Torrent's gone inside to try and save some ground and quickly advancing fourth. Magic Grant now fifth. The trailer is 3rd Street, almost 10 from the front as they go to the back stretch. On the lead, it's Glengarry pressed by Otto the Conqueror. That pair 5 lengths clear of My Buddy Mel as they straighten away. Magic Grant, half length better than Raging Torrent, still the trailer. 3rd Street well back with 5 furlongs left. Opening quarter in 23.48, midway up the backstretch, and Glengarry showing the way. Otto the Conqueror staying right there with him as they approach the half-mile pole. Well back to the rest, Raging Torrent emerging third with a half-mile left. It's Glengarry and Otto the Conqueror. They're about 8 in front of Raging Torrent as they get set to leave the backstretch. My Buddy Mel, Magic Grant outside of Raging Torrent. Nothing from the back from 3rd Street with 3 furlongs to go. They got the half at 46.35, and they're rolling up front. Glengarry by a neck at the rail. Otto the Conqueror keeping company right there with a quarter mile left now, and Otto the Conqueror making his move right now with Glengarry. They're on even terms as they go to the stretch. From the back, Raging Torrent still third, fighting off Magic Grant, My Buddy Mel, nothing from 3rd Street. In the stretch, in the springboard mile, race on. Otto the Conqueror on the outside. Glengarry's the gray at the rail. They're nose to nose with a furlong left. Magic Grant emerging 3rd. Final 16th coming up. Otto the Conqueror now by ahead, trying to battle back. Glengarry doing so at the rail. Otto the Conqueror has more left, and Otto the Conqueror will get it by a half length, winning the springboard. Otto the Conqueror.
All right, I'm with the winning jockey, Tyler Gaffleone, and winning trainer, Steve Asmussen. And Tyler, I'm going to start with you and the trip that you had. He was all business right from the gate.
He really was. You know, first off, I'd like to give Steve and his team all the credit. They brought him over here. He fired a big one for us today, but very hard-fought victory. Never gave it up, battled the whole way, and it was a very impressive race.
It was an impressive race, and you didn't have it easy. I mean, Glengarry really came back at you.
Oh, most definitely. You know, the inside was the best part of the track. Speed's been holding well, so I knew I didn't want to let that horse get away, but like I said, my horse was there for me the whole way.
He certainly was professional. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And Steve, this horse looks to be special.
Just extremely proud of the whole team and stuff. You know, a very important race to us. Otto's first 2-turn race, they left there running, hooked up, 2 really nice horses, and just very proud of the outcome.
Otto the Conqueror prevailing over Glengarry the entire stretch, but really it was the entire race, Chris, because right after the break, they both went for the front. It's a mile race, and they were within a half length to a quarter length of each other all the way around. Glengarry set the pace and tried to fend off Otto the entire way, but finally Otto the Conqueror mid-second turn made his move. They were at even stature together as they passed the quarter pole, top of the stretch, and then they just duked it out all the way through. And it was a great, thrilling race. Steve Asmussen commented about it after the race that he's just, we just saw 2 really good horses, and more than likely both of those will continue on the Kentucky Derby road. So all horses but one received Kentucky Derby points out of the springboard. The only one that didn't was the well thought of Raging Torrent, who came in from California for Doug O'Neill but finished last. So field had scratched down to 6. Top 5 get Kentucky Derby points for next year, and we'll see what happens. Don't discount Magic Grant, the horse that won our Clever Trevor. He was rolling like a freight train at the end, partially because the fractions set by the top 2 were pretty crisp on the first 6 furlongs. So he had something left for the end, and he looks to be one of those horses that's going to be a closer. So watch him going forward also. But hats off to the top 3 in the springboard. And Otto the Conqueror, great name. Will be a great name for a Kentucky Derby winner.
Yeah, we had Kelly O'Hara's interview afterwards with the jockey, with Steve Asmussen, who just continues to pile up those training titles. Just amazing, Steve Asmussen, the all-time winningest trainer in thoroughbred racing history.
Yeah, 18 local wins here at Remington Park, and he set the all-time record earlier this year in 2023. And he said he was going to scale back a few years ago, and believe it or not, he has scaled back. He's not winning 600 races a year anymore, but he's still clipping right along at 400 to 500. So the scale back for him, I guess, was noticeable. But for the rest of the trainers out there, they can only handle one barn at a time. It appears that he hasn't scaled back at all.
And your jockey title was a tight race this year. Doesn't hurt the track. It was won by a former Kentucky Derby winning jockey, Stuart Elliott.
Stuart Elliott, 2004 Smarty Jones fame with the Derby and the Preakness. Stuart's towards the end of his career now. He says he's going to keep going. He says he likes doing what he's doing. He's still winning a lot of races and doing so fairly easily. And he's found a circuit where he's comfortable. The circuit is Remington Park for the last 4 or 5 months of the year. And they'll go to Sam Houston for the first 2 or 3 months down there. And then Lone Star Park for the summer, then back to here. I don't think Stuart's too concerned of chasing, the big grade 1 horses across the country anymore. He's done that. He's had success with that. Now he's just kind of happy doing what he likes to do, ride horses, win races, and pay good support to his family. Over $2 million in mount earnings for Stuart Elliott this year. The only one in the colony here to do that.
And next, of course, the quarter horse meet. And you get a little break before that, but let's talk about the dates for the quarter horse meet, one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, we think it's the best overall season in the nation. There's some bigger races elsewhere, but for 50 straight days, you get the best of the best. And all the 2-year-olds that are going to campaign for that All-American Futurity on Labor Day, most of them, 90% of them, are starting right here at Remington Park. So we open the season on March 7th, 50 race dates later on June 1. It will wrap up with the Heritage Place Futurity, the Debbie Shaw Remington Park Championship, and other big races. But it's a big run from March 7 to June 1. and the all-important training races begin about a month before the season opens. A lot of 2-year-olds going to the starting gate basically for the first time, more than to just do a little standing and try to figure out what it's about. So we run those schooling races, they get ready, and then we let them fly on March 7th.
When we come back, we'll take a look at our next couple of shows that we're taping during the holidays for you. It's a little special event I think you'll enjoy. Right after this message, we'll come back with also what's going on at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, including a massive New Year's Eve party you've got to be part of.
$275,000 Candyland. Be one of 27 lucky guests called December 2nd, 9th, and 16th and win a share of up to $275,000 cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite, then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
It's the fame, the glory, and the Golden Driller, and it's all happening at the SageNet Center at Expo Square. January 8th to the 13th, the Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink, is back for its 38th running. It's a week of mud, methanol, and action you don't want to miss with the world's top racing talent. Monday and Tuesday reserved seat tickets are on sale by calling 918-838-3777. General admission tickets are sold at the event and never sell out. For complete listings of times, prices, and more, log on to chilibowl.com.
There are 3 things you need to know about Bricktown Brewery. We never stop obsessing over the quality of our fresh, made-from-scratch food. From pizza and burgers to salad and seafood, there's something for everyone. Our beer selection is second to none. Between handcrafted Bricktown beers and local craft favorites, you're sure to find one you'll love. We can't wait to serve you. Great food, local beer, and truly friendly service. Bricktown Brewery, we love what we do, and it shows.
Our final segment of Oklahoma Sports Scene, we take a look at what's going on at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa's #1. In fact, you have 2 more Saturdays left. These last 2 Saturdays in December, a chance to win your share of $275,000 in their Candyland promotion. The drawings at 7, 10, and 11 o'clock out at Hard Rock Casino with your 1-star reward cards. And make your plans now for the biggest New Year's Eve party ever in Tulsa. It's December 31st, New Year's Eve. They're bringing in fact, Brett Michaels will perform and also count down the new year. 16,000 balloon drop at midnight, all free for everyone over 21. That's right, free for the big New Year's Eve party, Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. That's why, of course, they're #1. Bring 24 into the year in style. Enjoy it. Get out there in Hard Rock Casino. Have a great New Year's Eve party. We come back. We are taping our next 2 shows because our taping dates fall on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So we want to have you enjoy some of the past shows we've had, including some outstanding interviews with some real sports personalities, OU, OSU, Tulsa, Major League Baseball, all kinds of sports activities for you. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll look back on 2023 and look ahead to the 2024 Oklahoma sports scene. Right now, we can tell you we wish you a great holiday season, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you in the next couple of shows.